And if you're down here in the stockyards, you can't miss the John Wayne experience. And that is a venture that Patrick put together with this guy right here, John Wayne's youngest son, Ethan Wayne. Ethan, thanks for joining us. How did the John Wayne experience come about?
Hey, Jeff. Gosh, I can't remember the first time I met Patrick, but when Patrick would talk about John Wayne, he was very enthusiastic. Like he got energy and he got happy. And gosh, he said he wanted to work together with us, and I came up with a bunch of ideas, and he never liked any of the ideas. And then when the NFR was in Las Vegas, we did a small pop-up museum of John Wayne items, and a light went off in his eyes, and he goes, "Hey, I know a guy who's redoing the Fort Worth stockyards. We're moving our offices down there. You got to come right now." And basically, he just shuttled us off to Fort Worth. We met Craig Cavalier. He showed us the plans for the stockyards, and we rented a building and got to work almost immediately. And he had a love for certain things. John Wayne, Roy Rogers, Gene Autry. These were things that he liked personally. Obviously, he's done a tremendous amount for rural America, ranchers, farmers, and rodeo. But he also liked his heroes, his television and movie heroes. And, if it wasn't for Patrick, if it wasn't for him coming in that day, if it wasn't for him having all that natural enthusiasm, I don't know if we'd have pulled the trigger on John Wayne, An American Experience, here in the Fort Worth stockyards. And we're indebted to him because, our job is to take care of John Wayne and share him with people in a way that people will like. And nothing has done that better than John Wayne, An American Experience down in the stockyards. And it's all Patrick. I was so looking forward to seeing him this week and hanging out. And he was in the exhibit, basically the afternoon, his last afternoon, and he met with Amy Shepard, our vice president there, and saw changes that he wanted. We just did a little expansion, and he'd asked for some changes, and they were great ideas. And he was able to go in there and see him. And Amy said he was very happy about him. So I'm glad that he got to see him. We'll cherish those changes and try to find ways to honor him, because now he's one of our heroes.
I know, Ethan, that he admired your dad and he loved doing things with you. And I tell everybody, if you come to Fort Worth, you cannot miss the John Wayne experience. And it's great that guys like that still champion your dad and keep his memories alive. And thanks so much for spending some time with us and having a chance to reminisce about Patrick.
Yeah, here's a great Patrick story if you got a second. We go to his ranch in New Mexico, and he's got a bunch of people, and they're having a big sales meeting, and he wants to take everybody fishing to the swimming hole. I have a dog, a chocolate lab named Finn, that goes everywhere with me, and Patrick likes the dog. I think he loved the dog. Traveled in his plane. He let it sit in the seat. He had a great time with them. When we get to the fishing hole, he opens the door to that little mule, and Finn's a lab. He jumps out of the Jeep and dives straight into the water where Patrick wants to fish. And that was the only time I thought Finn might be in big trouble. But anyway, we got Finn out of there. Everybody had a good laugh, and we all caught fish.
He loved to fish. I can tell you, my family, we've been there with him and fished. I think that's the happiest I've ever seen Patrick Gottsch in the overall, standing out there by that one little pond and catching big fish. And I kind of like Finn, too. He's pretty spectacular.
Finn, he went straight in, right where Patrick wanted to fish. Finn just dove in.
Yeah, he had these spots that he wouldn't really share for you. He was always the first there. So I'm kind of glad Finn ruined the day for him. It kind of gets him back for being selective on where you got a chance to fish. You go to the John Wayne experience. He talked about it. He loved it. He loved to take people up there. He was excited about the expansion. It's kind of great that, you have that. It'll live on there. And will you put something in there for Patrick down the road, as also just a slight remembrance of him?
Absolutely. Yeah. And we were going to have John Wayne Day this weekend to celebrate my father's birthday and John Wayne Day in Texas. And we like to push it back a couple of months so that we can include some recognitions of Patrick as well as our John Wayne festivities. We wouldn't be there without Patrick. We love him. We're going to miss him, and we want to find a way to honor him in anything that we do there. He did just bring in, we've got Trigger and Buttermilk and gosh, now why can't I think of the dog's name? Anyway, he just brought him in. That the last he was in the exhibit, so we'll have him there, and we'll create something with Raquel and Gatsby, and maybe even get some input from Rose, and just make sure we shine a light on him, because he was a good friend, and you don't realize how special people are till they're gone in the blink of an eye.